an energy guy, but the guys are talking about how your energy is even on a new level right about now. Can you describe that and just how your team is feeding off of it?
Yeah, no, I believe in energy. I believe life's about energy. I believe I want people aligned with me. I believe alignment is important. Alignment to me is a key word. And what's alignment? You've got to be energized. Like, you've got to have a pep in your step. You've got to be an energy giver, not an energy taker. I'm real big about positive energy. And so, look, and this is a year one of a major rebuild job, but we've had success. To even be February the 20th talking about 7 ACC wins and 16 wins overall, that's crazy, considering where we started at the beginning of the year. But that's a credit to our young men on buying in, understanding about a team, that our young men understanding about energy and what it takes and how to get there. And, they've bought into that.
Defensively, 35% against Syracuse. Just throughout the year, you've talked about just defensive effort. Just overall impressions of how that side's performed, and was the Syracuse performance one of your better efforts you thought on that end of the court?
Well, what I would tell you is, we have our margin for error is 0, but we have severe limitations in a lot of areas now. That hasn't changed. Defense is all about energy and effort, about playing so hard. Now, sometimes you can have unintelligent energy, but you've got to have that effort and energy. That's what defense is, and it doesn't take a great skill set to do it. And because you got to make multiple plays on that defensive end, multiple plays, within a possession, multiple effort plays, and that's why we're good defensively. That's why we're lead the ACC in field goal percentage defense. Why we're one of the 10 best teams in the country in overall defensive efficiency. But I'll also tell you that, energy and effort, it's all about is why we are so good in assist, why we move the ball, we share the ball. That's about a team at our level that we pass, because we share the ball. But look, I'm so proud of our guys. It's been awesome. We still have a long way to go. We got a tough stretch. North Carolina State, and then at Notre Dame, and then Pittsburgh, and then at Syracuse. These 4 games are hard. And nothing's changed in who we are. We got the same limitations, margin for error 0, year one of a major rebuild job. But we'll just got to keep, plucking away and focus on what we can focus on.
Thompson and Lydon really gave you 2 different challenges on the boards, especially on the offensive boards. How difficult was that to combat, Lydon the banger and Thompson, quick off his feet?
I think Syracuse is really good. I think they got great players. Man, they're good. Of course, they got one of the greatest coaches in the history to ever coach. I think Lydon's really good. I thought what helped us was some of our offensive rebounding. I thought we were better yesterday than we've been on offensive glass. But Syracuse is really good, and their bigs were good, their guards were good, their forwards were good. They're just a lot of good players. Great win for the Yellow Jackets last night.
Were you surprised that they took the press off when they got within 2 points?
No, listen, they've come back against teams like that all year long, and they've been able to come back all year long. So they've been down multiple times. They went to the Final Four like that last year. Right. So you can't simulate their zone, nor can you simulate their press. They're just, But I understand from Coach Boeheim's perspective. How about if you got a layup out of it? Because there's going to be some holes here and there. So I would never question anything that he does. He's won over 1,000 games. I'm still trying to get to 200 wins. So you can question me, but you can't question him.
Discuss Ben and his stamina. He's played all 40 minutes. You talked about how he worked in the offseason prepared, but he didn't expect to play this many minutes. Just how are you handling his minutes and some of the other guys who are getting to that 30, 35-minute range that they're averaging?
I don't know. I just think, you got to just, you should want to play every minute. You got to have, these guys are young guys. They're able to play every minute. It's a mentality. It's just a mindset. And they got to be good enough to do it. And you got to be tough enough mentally. And that's why we did all our conditioning that we did in the preseason for these type of, circumstances.
As a coach who's kind of moved around, what are your thoughts on the coaching situation at NC State with Gottfried?
I think Coach Gottfried's, what he's done at NC State, he's a big time coach, 4 NCAA tournaments, 2 Sweet 16s. Heck, if I went to I went to 4 NCAA tournaments. If I went to 2 Sweet 16s, I might have a new 15-year deal at Memphis. I wouldn't be the coach at Georgia Tech, even though I left on my own. You know, they were probably getting tired of me, you know, at Memphis, because I hadn't been to the Sweet 16. So, you know, I mean, he's very successful, and he's a very good coach, and they've got really good players, and they just a few weeks ago beat Duke at Duke. I mean, you know, so. But listen, I mean, I was fastest ever in the history of Memphis, 150 wins. After 7 years, I was the 10th winningest coach in the history of Division I basketball. And they were getting tired of me. So, I mean, that's just the way the profession is. And but I tell you, I'm a big fan of Coach Godfrey, a huge fan. I think he's really good. And, you know, it's just, you know, it's one of those professions that's just kind of is what it is.
Did you hear what Calipari said about adding a thing in the contract about mid-season firings? And do you agree with that? Is that something that needs to be implemented?
I mean, I heard what Coach Cal said, and he doesn't need to worry about that. They're not firing him anytime soon. He's in the Hall of Fame. But no, I mean, it's the way it is. And that's why probably as you move forward, I think most coaches are going to start putting things in their contract for that protection. So it's kind of is what it is.
Is North Carolina State a dangerous team because of the talent they have and what they're capable of doing?
I think North Carolina State's dangerous regardless. They're good. They're well coached, very well coached by Coach Godfrey, and they've got really good players. They run good stuff. And nothing's changed who we are. If we're not perfect in our execution, energy, and effort, like you got to remember, this is year 1 of a major rebuild. We got a long way to go. I mean, you know, if we're not perfect in those areas, then it just, for us to have a chance for success, it's really hard. And in this league, we could be really good. Like, we could play really well over these next 4 games and still lose. I mean, we also can go 4-0 over these next 4, but we can also be 0-4. I'm just telling you, I mean, we're no juggernaut. Like, if we're not perfect or darn near it in execution, energy, and effort, then it's going to be hard for us.
How good can Todrick be?
I think Todrick can be really good. He's just got to continue to stay consistencies,
Right.
you know, very important for him. I've been very hard on him without ever cursing. I've been very hard on him without ever cursing. And he's even said, Coach, man, you've said some crazy stuff, but you've never cursed. You know how? And I've never taken a personal attack. Never demeaned him, no personal attack, no cursing. However, I've been hard on him, but I've let him know how I feel, and that's because I know how good he can be. And as I said, he's going to have to meet to my standard. I'm not lowering to him, so he's got to continue to meet to mine, and I'm going to push him every day to have him meet to my standard.
Have you wanted to curse now?
No, I don't want to curse. I you know, no desire to curse. Even though sometimes you can think in your head, but no, I'm pretty disciplined about what comes out of my mouth.
Why are you so adamant about, you know, some coaches will take that personal approach to try and build a player, make them stronger. Why are you so adamant about that positive energy approach, and where did it come from?
You know, it's just kind of who I always am. Heck, it's probably safer now these days in this day and age to be that way. You don't have to, you know, worry about, they might get on you for wins and losses, but they're not getting on you for something, you know, with, you know, how you treat someone. But, you know, it's my DNA, it's my nature. And I believe in energy, believe in it as much as anything. And when we don't have the right energy, we're just not real effective. And that's basketball, that's sports, that's life. It's all about energy, positive energy. And I think the number one thing, there's 2 things. When I ask people this all the time, I said, what are people most attracted to? And the first thing they say is looks. I says no. First thing most people are attracted to is honesty. And the second thing is positive energy. Those are the 2 most important things people are attracted to. And that's just, that's just what had nothing to do with relationships. That's just people in general. And I truly believe that.
Josh O is